छीन ले रहा था।
कुछ बोल नहीं रहा है आदमी।
हाँ।
We as Indian customers were expecting the Charisma 200 or any variants from Charisma, but 2 years back Hero decided to not bring that, instead bring on the Xtreme 200S. Well, this is a motorcycle with full fairing and the only bike with full faired motorcycle in the Hero motorcycles lineup. Well, how is the bike? We shall find out in this video. If you like what we do, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to Automania. Well, good morning, and this is Professor Banerjee. You're watching Automania. Let's start with the cinematics first. So guys, when we talk about this motorcycle,
वो आदमी है।
कौन?
वो देखो।
Same person, though the
वही था।
वो एक।
हाँ हाँ हाँ।
What do you want, sir? Hello.
अरे ये आदमी जो चाबी छीन ले रहा था।
कुछ बोल नहीं रहा है आदमी।
हाँ।
1 2 3 4 चेक। आती का खंडाला चलती है सर। प्रॉब्लम क्या? चेक। नथिंग। सर प्लीज आप वहाँ बैठ जाइए, प्लीज बैठ जाइए वहाँ पे। सर प्लीज देखिए, शूटिंग चल रहा है, प्लीज। सर यार क्या करो?
छोड़ो उसको, छोड़ो उसको, बैठ रहे हैं, छोड़ दो।
हाँ वही बैठ जाओ। हाँ प्लीज बैठ जाओ वहाँ पे जाके। देख चुपचाप बैठ भी गया ये। Hero MotoCorp is a huge brand. It's one of the biggest giant in the automotive segment, and we have a big fan following for this company. So people who are having a commuter bike, for example, Splendor, Deluxe or Super Splendor, and they want to, upgrade to a performance segment bike. So this is offering by Hero MotoCorp, a 200cc bike with a full flared motorcycle, a fair bit of performance on tap. So we shall find out about the technical specification and details this bike offers for Indian customers. With the onset of the new financial year in 2021, Hero MotoCorp has hiked the prices of all its model, including the Xtreme 200S. This motorcycle is now being priced at 1,20,000 rupees approximately ex-showroom, depending upon which city you belong to. The Hero Xtreme 200S BS6 model is around 1,499 rupees more than the previous pricing. It is available in 3 colors: white, red and black. The BS6 Xtreme 200S gets an LED headlight and LED tail lamps, the full digital instrument console with gear position indicator and a Bluetooth enabled navigation which is turn by turn assisted, and you can also get your call alert from the instrument console. Well, these are really great offers. When we talk about the engine of Hero Xtreme 200S BS6, this bike is powered by 199.6cc single cylinder motor with an oil cooler. It has been tuned to make 18 PS of max power at 8,500 RPM and 16.45 Newton meters of max torque at around 6,500 RPM, which is 0.4 PS and 0.65 Newton meters less than the older generation BS4 model. The transmission though remains exactly the same with a 5-speed unit. The Xtreme 200S employs a diamond type frame with a telescopic front and a monoshock. Braking is handled by 276mm disc up front and a 220mm rear disc brake. Single channel ABS comes as standard, while dual channel ABS is a big miss by Hero MotoCorp. Its 17-inch alloy wheels comes wrapped in 100 section tire up front and 130 section tire at the rear. Hero Xtreme 200 BS6 rivals against the likes of Suzuki Gixxer SF, which is priced competitively at around 1.23 lakh ex showroom. The fuel capacity of Xtreme 200S is 12.8 liters with a satellite of around 795mm. Well, it's quite a friendly motorcycle in terms of saddle height, and the ground clearance is really decent with 165mm, and the curb weight of this motorcycle is 154.5 kgs. If you are interested in any kind of Hero offering in Durgapur region, feel free to contact Dutta Automobiles Durgapur. They offer some great motorcycle with great discounts. And now it's time for the ride review.
Let's get started with the ride review, guys. First impressions, bike isn't too heavy, around 155 kilos I guess, according to the spec sheets. Brakes are strong. I could feel a bit difference in the front end when I did brake. I think the front suspension has been tuned. Yes, the mid-range is quite strong. The brakes, it's a brand new motorcycle, so the bike would be definitely a bit tight. After the first servicing, that would definitely open up even more. The mid-range is strong, it's really strong, but I feel in the top end, the extreme higher rev range, that do lag with some power. When we talk about the power figures, it's around 18 PS, and when we talk about the power, it's around 16 PS and 18 Nm of max torque. So let's see what that means in the real world. It's not the fastest, but it's a good one. Because of the lightweight, you would really feel the bike really nippy with the full fairing. That will add to the aerodynamics of the bike. At high speed, you would feel the bike is really very stable, guys. The speedometer is clean, and as I've shown you before in the Glamour Xtec video, the speedometer is exactly the same. Actually, the speedometer for the Glamour is carried forward from this vehicle. Actually, you get the speedometer right now. It's on 0 because the speedometer is not connected. You get the RPM indicator, the trip, the clock, distance to empty, eco modes, Bluetooth connection, call alerts, SMS alerts. Well, the list goes on and on. These are the small things that, you know, adds to the experience of the rider. No problem with the ground clearance. Well, this is the part where I test the ground clearance. No problems at all for the suspension to soak up those bad bumps. Well, these bikes are developed in India for Indian people, so it's not a surprise that the engine will be developed as per Indian people. The front tires are 100 and the rear tires are 130 section, which is quite a good one. It will give you a decent grip in the corners. Suspension is really heavily worked on for this motorcycle, guys. Like, you can feel the difference in the front end. The ergonomics is a bit sporty, and you might feel a little bit pain in your palms, I guess. But yes, that's depending on the rider, what kind of bikes you're used to. If you're used to a normal commuter or a bike which is not demanding a tough position to ride, then you might feel some problem in your pumps initially. Definitely with time you would get used to it. And if you are coming for R15s and all KTM Dukes, then it's a piece of cake. With the offerings this bike and comparing that to the pricing, guys, it is like I can't explain you how much it's value for money. Like 1.53 lakhs on road for 200cc offering. Well, that's a huge hit. That's that's something which Hero has done really good with this motorcycle. The brakes too feel nice, and I'm really getting a nice feeling about the brakes, especially in the front end once again. Next will be the chassis. The chassis is going perfectly with this motorcycle, handling the power and the engine, which is the most stressed member of this motorcycle. What the main thing for this bike, what this bike is aimed at, is for those people who want to move to a sports bike but also use that bike for daily commuting. It's a bike which you can take for long rides, for long trips on highways, and also is for daily commuting. That's the main USP of Hero Motors, guys. The fueling is pinpoint perfect, but I think a bit of more smoothness could have been added into the motorcycle. Like, I'm talking about refinement. That's lagging a little bit. No, there's a point where Hero could have worked on refinement. Well, it's a BS6 offering. The bike was launched initially in 2 years back, which was BS4 that time. Well, I won't complain about the power. The power is fine, and just the refinement could have been a bit better. Right now, when I took the corner, the bike did feel very light into the corner. When I entered, clipped the inside apex and go out from the left hand side, it did feel really light. So if you are in a place where you have a racetrack nearby, and if you take this motorcycle as your bike where you can learn racing and learn the technique of racing, I think that would be a good point where you can start your racing career. And again, I'm saying it's mainly about the value for money. It's not about the offering mostly from heromotorcorp. It's about the value for money. At 1.53 lakhs, even the KTM 125 RC 125 is costlier than this, and it's a 200cc motorcycle, so that price is really well justified. The plastics are in a good quality. The switchgear, as you get from Hero, is standard quality. I won't say it's top of the world or bad either. It's good enough. The switch in the speedometer gives a hard feeling, but it's okay. It's not a problem at all. The weight is really an advantageous point for this motorcycle. Around 5,000 to 6,000 RPM, exactly this point what I'm riding right now. The fueling is pinpoint perfect. I'm not feeling any issues with any kind of power lag or power drop or any burst of power suddenly. That is really well done by Hero. I can do this all day long. So guys, that's it for the ride review. Let me know in the comment section down below, how did you feel about the ride review for the Hero Xtreme 200S? Did it win your heart? So now let's move on to the next segment.
Guys, when I talk about what I like and what I didn't for this bike, which is the pros and cons, so let's start with the pros. The first is the value for money this bike offers. 200cc offering at a price point of 1.53 lakhs on road. That's really brilliant pricing by Hero MotoCorp. The next part would be the Bluetooth connectivity it offers. The third and the most important is the wide network of the Hero MotoCorp service stations. And when I talk about the negative points, which are the cons, the first will be the build quality. I think the plastic could have been a little bit better. The next is the power. I think Hero has missed a trick over here. They could have given a 1 or 1.5 horsepower more for their engine. So that would have given the mix of affordability, rideability and also the top end performance.
अरे यार हम लोग घर जाना है. अरे हम लोग अनपैकिंग कर रहे हैं. हम लोग घर जाना है. आप कब जाएंगे घर? अरे यार ये आदमी भी ना. हेलो अब्बा जब्बा डब्बा. हेलो, कोई लैंग्वेज भी नहीं समझता क्या आदमी? हेलो. अरे भाई साहब, ओ भाई साहब, ये सऊदी का डाकू है क्या? ये कोई ऐसा कर रहा है? अरे पागल. देखो तो इसको, देखो इसको स्वभाव देखो. क्या हुआ? दाढ़ी उखाड़ देंगे हमें. क्या हुआ? हम लोग घर जाना है हम लोगों को.
What about final verdict, guys? Should you go for this bike? Well, if you're in a tight budget and you also want to feel the magic and the power of a 200cc offering bike, so definitely it's a big go. But if budget is not the constraint and you can push your budget to around 2 lakh rupees, I think there are other options in the market which can give you a better engine feeling and better feel of the power at the higher end. So it's up to the end customer what kind of offering they want. If they want to get a 200cc offering on a tight budget, or they have the budget to increase the money factor to around 2 or 2.5 lakhs. So on that note, it's time to end the video. I will see you in some other videos in other automotive or technical reviews. Till then, as I always say, wear your helmets while riding, wear your seatbelts while driving, and never drink and drive. This is Postman Energy. You are watching Automania. Signing off. Tada.